you go. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
So you guys are TGG Paranormal, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and what does TGG stand for?
That ghost group.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought so because it's on it's on the top of your homepage there, but I just wanted to make sure. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, my dad is like what, 78?
Yeah,
and
he's getting up there.
And when I first joined the initial team here in Las Vegas, my dad would always go, "Are you guys going with that ghost group? You doing stuff with that ghost group? What'd you guys get on that ghost group thing?" So when it came time to give ourselves a name, I was like, "That ghost group? Why not?" I was like, so old man had something good there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Tell us something that I guess that stands out to you guys. That's normally how we start to show up. What's something that you guys have experienced either as investigators or just as regular people in your own home, whatever, that you would say is, I guess, maybe the most prevalent?
I mean, as far as our own house, you know that saying, "You don't shit where you eat." type
Yeah.
thing? We don't really do that here.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I know stuff is here. The day I walked in this house, I loved it. But my realtor and I, she's psychic as well. But I looked at her, she looked at me, and we're like, yeah. So I was like, I love the house. I don't think anything's bad per se, and it's nothing that I'm scared of. It's just I don't want to find out anymore. Like I'll go to somebody else's house and I'll do an investigation there, or I'll get like evidence for them. But yeah, we try to be careful with stuff. We had a lot of weird stuff happen in this house.
Does your investigation group do like residential houses as well, or do you guys do just like like places that you would have to pay to go investigate?
We've done residentials. I try to stay away from residentials because of the fact that you're not just going in someone's house and getting a bunch of evidence, telling them what you think, and then leaving. You're actually making lifelong commitments to these people. You're taking on them, and we've done about 4, I think, total. 2 of them we've really kept in our inner circle. These people were really great people. To this day, we still have them come over. We play board games. We cook dinner.
Oh, so, that's cool.
But I'm in the medical field, so all day long, I help people.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like the last thing you want to do on your hobby or your own time is to get connected to more people and then have to take them on. So, but the people we've helped, we love dearly. And it has to really, there's something that has to resonate with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that because that what you can acquire is like more of an evil entity that you'd have to try to help them fight off or something like that?
When for example, the last one, I walked into their apartment and I sat down and I had like a whole questionnaire, like an hour-long questionnaire that we do. I mean, everything from, is it psychological? Is it drug induced? We have this really nice little packet that I use. But as I was sitting there giving her the questionnaire and I was talking with her, I could see myself sitting where she sits, and I saw exactly what she was talking about before she even told me.
Oh, wow.
And she started to tell me, and as she was talking, I filled in the blanks and said, "You sit here every day, you look down this hall and you see X." She started to cry. She said, "Yes."
Whoa.
So I knew she wasn't full of shit. She was.
Yeah.
Because I think some people think when they talk to people about this stuff that they're just making it up, or they think that Travel Channel is going to come with all their vans and set up camp and they're going to be famous for 15 minutes. And it's, and then other people really have a problem and they think that we're going to think they're crazy.
Right.
So the most of our stuff has been legit. There was one time we went out to Barstow, I think, and this one lady sat down to do like kind of like a little interview because a lot of our team members were already there. Okay. And when she sat down on the sofa with us, there was another team member sitting with me, and she actually told us about when she was on the toilet how the crotch goblins would try to get at her. and we looked at each other, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I already like this lady, she's on one. And then
Yeah.
I said, "So by chance, do you take any medication?" She's like, "Yeah." So she started naming down the list, and I was like, "Yeah." So by the end of the night, they all knew that there was something a little bit more than just crotch goblins. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
you guys are talking about Hat Man.
Yes. You said
Cool.
you've had run-ins with him, correct?
So the thing with Hat Man is a lot of people. I don't know if you guys. Um, a lot of people say it's drug induced, like a lot, like too much Benadryl, sleeping aids, like Zolpidem. You know, like when you go like Ambien. Sorry,
Yeah.
but like your Ambiens and like your Benadryls, a lot of it's sleep induced. And
But do you think
mine
maybe
was
just
definitely
not, do you think maybe, I hate to interrupt you. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm trying to get the right information here with the situation. Do you think potentially that being as how it's medication induced, it's not the fact that it's causing you to see it, it's more opening an ability to be able to see it.
amen. I totally believe that. It's
That's what
getting
I'm
you to
thinking.
that
Yeah.
level. It's getting you to that level where your mind is open now to receive.
Hmm.
And I was there. I had taken a muscle relaxer,
Okay.
and I went to bed that night, woke up to go to the bathroom, came back, and right next to my bed was a nightstand table. So it didn't make sense to me that a full shadow man in a hat with red glowing eyes would be staring at me. And I looked at it, and for 2 seconds, I had just nothing but fear. And then the other few seconds, I was like this, teetering, because you're doped up. And
Okay.
I looked at it and I went, nah, not tonight. Like this, not tonight. And I literally got back in bed, looked back at it with red glowing eyes, and shut my eyes and went back to sleep like nothing ever happened.
Oh,
And I woke
geez.
up the next morning. I told Eric, and I said, that was pretty ballsy because it's like, what the hell did I encounter? And
Right.
started going down the rabbit hole, reading about other people's experiences with sleep induced medication.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people see this. And then some famous allergist guy went down the rabbit hole with it because people like me and everybody else started talking about it.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, it's a common thing, especially with people that, get Benadryl at night. It just
Oh,
takes,
wow.
it just allows that body, just allows that consciousness to just open up and just receive. So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Well, at
So,
least he didn't hurt you or anything like that. What I've gathered so far, I mean, you're like our 16th episode, so we haven't had many Hatman experiences with our interviewees yet. But what I've gathered thus far from the people that I did speak to about it is it doesn't seem like he's evil per se.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I looked at it and I realized that's not right. That's not normal. Is it scary? Yes. But for me not to have gone, like, just dismissed it, like, I'm too tired
Yeah.
for this and go back to bed. Yeah. And then the next morning when I had a little bit more sobriety, I was like, what did I do? Like,
Yeah.
like I didn't know. Because, none of us really know anybody that we've talked to. They've never gotten that far with it. They've,
Okay.
it's just, it's just they're either they, like I did, go back to bed, or they dismiss it, or they turn on the light, or they, so we've never
Yeah,
really gotten that far.
for sure. Did you watch the Hatman episode? What happened with him? I guess 3 days prior to him getting diagnosed with cancer twice, he's seen Hatman, so he thought
Yeah.
that maybe the Hatman was kind of maybe like a warning signal or something. I don't
I've
know.
read that too. Yeah. I love all this. I love going down rabbit holes. I stay up all
Right.
night because, when you can't sleep, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So,
That's one of the reasons that we started this show because not only, do we want our own big, YouTube show, whatever, who doesn't, right? But we also want to try to gain answers. Let's say we're at episode 200 and I talked to 96 people about Hatman that have seen him. Now we have some data to go off of. Okay, 80 of these people said that this was from this, if that makes sense.
yeah. No, I love your guys' show. I've been watching the episodes. I did not watch Hatman last night because I fell asleep. However, like you said, I love watching the groups. I love, like, sometimes you have groups, sometimes you have individuals, but
Yep,
everybody's got their own stories to tell. Everybody has their own experiences, and they
that's
all bring
right.
something to the table. So it's like, I made a comment on one of them the other night. It's like, I'd love to just have a beer and sit with these people and just talk,
Yep.
share stories, because that's like
Yeah,
the
they
best.
were that. I think that was Great Lakes
Oh, okay.
Paranormal. Yeah, those
Yeah.
people are awesome.
Yeah, those people were cool. Those people would be fun. But this is,
What I would actually I aspire to do in the future, once we get obviously maybe a few more episodes in, is try to find a way. I don't know if this is able to be done on Zoom, but I'm gonna look into it, see if I can contact them or whatnot, to see if I can have maybe 4 or 5 teams or 4 or 5 of us, and then we could all go back and forth with, our most recent experiences from the recent places that we just went to investigate, if
right
that
on.
makes sense. Because a lot of these people that we have interviewed already have investigated 10 other places and they want to come back on, but I got to get all these other people in first,
Yeah,
so I think that would be kind of cool. And as well, to be able to bring everybody together that has been on the show, like, oh, yeah, I remember you said that, you know what I mean? So we could all try to piece things together.
that would be awesome. I would love that. Yeah,
It'd be
that
really
whole
cool.
bar like beer like mentality where we all sit down and just shit the shit
Right.
and talk about paranormal, because everybody at work is like, oh my god, would you shut up? Like,
Really?
everyone's like, ghost this, ghost that. So it's like, I got no one to talk to.
Yeah,
It's Eric
I
over
hear
here.
you. All right. Tell us about maybe some things that you have found on investigations. Is there anything crazy that you guys like, oh my God, like that's insane? Or
One thing that we keep going back to is the ITC devices.
what
It's
is
like
that?
it's it's the instrumental transcommunication. That's the ITC. That's the lingo of it. But it's like your spirit box. It's like those apps that you put on
Okay.
your phone, like Spirit Talker and Necromant, like Necro, whatever that is, Necrophonics.
The items that there's
Yeah.
controversy behind whether or not they're fake. A lot of people feel that they aren't accurate, and there's other people that swear by them. And I guess it all comes down to what works for you,
Yeah.
Okay.
because this isn't an exact science.
I had
No.
this one, I think it was called Ghost Tube or something on my phone before. And I had just recently lost my dad. This is actually my dad's ashes.
Hi, Dad.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And I'm like, Dad, man, if you're here, because we were pretty close. And right after I said that on the ghost tube, it said Andrew. That's my first name. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, these apps are made. There's like
you
age
guys remember
limits
that?
because you have to like have 12 and up or 6 and up. And then it gives you, like, for entertainment purposes only, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've had too many stories of these, especially for me. I hate those spirit boxes with the
All
noise.
that click.
Yeah.
My ears just, they hurt so bad. So I started using Spirit Talker, and for
Is this
me,
an app?
like, it's an app in the phone. Yeah.
Okay.
And I downloaded it, paid like the $1.99, whatever, and thought this is going to be bull, whatever. And then I actually used it a couple times. There was one time I was out in Poston, Arizona. It's a what is it?
The internment camp.
Internment camp for Japanese. That's where we held some of the Japanese.
Yeah,
that was a bad time in our country. It was kind of a blur on our spot. So as I was going through the internment camp, the spirit talker said, "You don't look like you belong here." So I was like, "No, actually, I don't look like it, because I'm a white woman."
Yeah.
And I said, "You would be Japanese at this point if you were staying here." I said, "I'm really sorry for what happened to you. That should have never happened. It's kind of
Right.
like a blurb on our, society." So I was going through, and she said, "My name is," and I said, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" So I'm just talking to it like it would be a person.
Yeah.
So I get out to one of the buildings, and everybody's away from me because I've taken off on my own, and I'm with this app. I go to cross the threshold, and it said, "Step out," something to like warn me. And I was like, "What?"
Wow.
Down at the screen, and I'm like, "What does it say?" And then all of a sudden I heard this like humongous like buzzing noise, and I realized it's a gigantic wasp nest. I could have stepped into that, and that thing told me basically, danger, don't step in.
Oh, wow.
I about shit my pants. I was like, what the hell? So I got back out. I slowly backed out of the door, walked back to my group and said, you're never going to believe this. So I was all excited, told them like, hey, this thing's pretty damn good. So I backburnered it, kept it on my phone, thinking I'll try it again. Well, just recently, we took the same app, but I have a dead pad, like an iPad. We took the SIM card. There's no network. There's no GPS. It's just a dead iPad.
Okay.
To one of the prisons. We have like a jail cell inside of like a
courthouse
that we always go and visit, that we love. When we were there, he was provoking.
A stick figure showed up in one of the single cells.
Okay.
Started
like an SLS kind of thing?
Yeah. And so I started provoking, asking it, so whose belt loop are you going to be holding on to when you go to jail? And the response was from the tablet. It was very emphatic. F you.
It was,
and it
was go fuck yourself.
The timing of it makes you question things, because when it's happening, what really got us into this to playing around with the app was we were at the hospital because her dad was in the hospital, and we were bored, so we turned it on, and we were just letting it run, and it wasn't until it said my name started paying attention to it.
Okay.
Then it was started talking about how the old man is there. There's claiming to be children. The old man scares them, but then all of a sudden,
my dad, which could scare anybody, he really does.
But then it said something about a distraction.
Yeah.
And next thing we know, the guy in the door, the room next door, starts screaming.
Oh.
And everybody rushes
Everybody
over.
ran to that room. So I'm not swearing that this app is golden, but odd things have happened.
Yeah.
When you already have questions, it does nothing but give you more questions. And there are people out there that have the ability to alter the programming of these apps.
Not us.
So that they'll come up with certain words constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm computer illiterate, so
me too.
I'm not in this to try and gain anything like that. It's all an experiment.
Right. You're just trying to learn. Right. We all are.
What's going on? And then you get.
That's why we're called investigators, not experts.
Exactly. There is no real true expert in it. This is all this does is lead you to more questions.
So we were at the same courthouse, same day. So with that, having the inflection, I mean, it had inflection like "go F yourself!" exclamation on the screen. My friend, I went, "Oh," like that. And you can hear me back in the video going, "Oh!" She's like, "What does that mean? Is that bad?" I went, "That's bad." She goes, "What do you mean that's bad?" I said, "That's bad." I said, "You're not supposed to do that with an exclamation point." I said, "No, girl." And then I started feeling like maybe we should let this simmer down, because now if it's getting hostile on an app, I'm thinking I don't want to be here. So we started exploring the rest of the courthouse. We get to a sub level where we walk in and there's tons and tons of documents from the county.
Oh, the second floor.
Just sitting in there in this courthouse, just ripe for the pickings. We were going through stuff, archives from the 1800s. I mean, I'm having the time of my life looking at this stuff. It's wonderful.
It had records from the early 1900s all the way up through the 1960s.
I was in my element. I was loving it. It was history in your hands. It was wonderful. And I was reading stuff, and we walk in, and I'm looking around, and we find these evidence bags. And it's from crimes, from people's last days here on Earth. First bag we open, he gently kind of realizes that it's not sealed all the way. So he decides, I'm going to open this bag. As we're going through the contents, we quickly learned that it wasn't somebody's crime, because generally if you get booked, when you get released, you get your contents back, the stuff you came in with, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a victim's property.
This was a victim's property. She had her wallet in there. She had her little transistor radio. This is about 1960 it happened. Her little tube of lipstick. something else. There was something else in there, and I can't remember.
The paper ID for driver's license.
But we went
that
through
had
this
no
lady's
photo.
wallet, and we
Oh,
went through this personal property of somebody here, and it was like, again, their last day on this very earth. All of a sudden, my Spirit Talker app goes, "Are you?" And it said with worry and concern, the inflection in the voice, "Are you guys investigators?" And it sounded like, and I went,
oh,
"Yeah, we are," because I was like, "Yeah, we are." Like,
right?
yeah. And it was like, "Are you allowed to be touching that stuff?" And it was like asking questions of like concern.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, "No way!" Like,
That's way too intelligent to be fake from the app.
that's what I'm saying. And it's like,
Yeah.
Then again, with the AI that's coming out, you never know what's really going into this stuff either.
But again, there's no SIM card, there's no GPS, there's no networks, we're not
So
hooked to any phone.
AI or not, there's no way that it could have known what you were looking at, the context of what you were looking at.
Yeah.
That it could be a problem. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. That had to be something intelligent.
Exactly. Just like these guys were at, I don't know if you guys have heard, but like in Kingman, Arizona, there's a famous school. All the shows have gone out there, but it's Lee Williams High. There's supposedly a cemetery. They built the high school on the Pioneer Cemetery.
Oh.
Yeah, and
yeah, they had to transfer a lot of
bodies.
A lot of the graves.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a big thing. A lot of channels go out there and do their investigations for TV. We were out there, and these guys, Brad, who's not here today, but he was with Eric, and they were in the gym. And so, once again, the app.
You know, the gymnasiums back when we were in school, back in the 80s and all that, they had the 2 light switches for the gymnasium. One switch turns on one half, the other switch turns on the other half. We're sitting in the middle of the gymnasium in center court, basically, videoing. Brad's got his K2 off to the side some. And the next thing I know, I'm being asked, am I on video? I said, well, yeah. Do you want to be on video? I said, no, please leave. So Brad's talking about, well, I'm going to go move my K2. He stands up. He takes one step. The light directly above him turns on. And I'm still sitting on the floor. I look up and I got the goosebumps going. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be happening. He starts moving towards his K2. The next light directly above him turns on. That happened with 4 lights. And we got to ask, I was like, you had to ask the principal, look, what's going on with your,
There'd be no way for a human to manipulate just those single lights, because you'd have to turn on the whole side.
So these guys radio to me, because we're in separate buildings at this point. I'm talking to the principal of the school, and his announcement comes over the radio. Hey guys, do these gym lights work like secular, or are they all one half? She goes, no, it's one half. They're not supposed to be turning on and off individually. She goes, what's happening in that gym? And the principal was like looking at me like dumbfounded, like, that's not normal. I would like to, obviously when you guys get your video, I'd like to see it and come back and, and we did, she's super cool and she's really interested in the paranormal. And it's really fun to have somebody who runs that school and knows it day in and day out and gets to see this stuff.
I'm sure she would probably have a lot of stories to tell you that she's heard from people.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all have a lot of stories.
The kids always say that locker room there is kind of strange, the girls' locker room. And I have to give it to, she said some of this stuff might be exaggerated for TV. We all know that.
Yeah.
But that locker room was legit. Yeah. I took her and her husband on an investigation, and we did the locker room. So they had some fun there. But yeah, when it came to that gym, and again, the Spirit Talker app. So do you guys use that yourselves? Y'all?
We haven't actually done a lot of investigations as of late, because we're just trying to get this. What we're trying to do right now is we're trying to get this up and running where we get like maybe 50 or 100 episodes or whatnot. I don't know what number I'm going to stop at, but then we're going to go do our investigation. So all the people that we have interviewed with will be able to see it once we put that up. That's our plan. We're also right in the middle of a cross-country move. We're moving from New York to South Carolina in like 3 weeks. So that's kind of made things a little bit difficult. Half house is in disarray. So, but yeah, we do plan on getting a lot of investigations in ourselves as well towards the end of this year.
Nice. You guys are going to have a plethora of pickings.
Yeah.
You guys will have a lot to investigate. Yeah.
I've heard just south of where we're going to Charleston, South Carolina. I heard just south of that, which is a few hours, is Savannah, Georgia. That's supposed to be like really haunted.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. You
You
guys.
guys are from Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't get to keep very many things here in our areas. They tear it down and rebuild. So we're pretty much going north or out of state.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to go either 5 to 6 hours north, or we go into like Kingman and Phoenix and places
But
like
hey,
that.
that's your hobby. That's what you like to do. So you follow it no matter what you have to do to make it happen.
Yeah, we do.
You know?
We pay dearly for it.
Let me ask you this question, because this is one of my favorites to ask. I'm sure you've noticed as you've watched a lot of the episodes you said you have. Have you guys ever came up against any child spirits? Any children or anything pretending to be a child, or how do you feel about that?
No.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. The hospital TIFs.
Oh yeah. Well, things like I don't really think of things like that, but we were at the hospital, and we were shooting the SLS, and we were shooting at a rocking chair that was left in the nursery ward.
And there was a small
toys.
childlike figure sitting in the chair in the recliner, and
Oh,
but that was the pediatric ward of that. That was
Yeah.
where that chair was in too.
And then we were
okay.
at the
And is this hospital still active, or it's like
No.
shut down?
No,
No.
it's not active anymore.
Okay.
It's on private property, so our friend's a caretaker of it. And
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we had that experience where the little feet were dangling over. And then up
Oh.
in the Mizpah, I've done it twice now where I've walked in, there's a cooler that supposedly some kids had passed away in. The
A
Mizpah,
cooler?
Yeah.
well, yeah, the mother used to put them down there when she was taking on extracurricular finances.
Yeah. Because, the prostitution thing here in Nevada. So when she was working, that's
You
the
put
story.
the kids in the cooler?
Yeah.
That's where she would put them. They said, whether or not
wow.
there's really no actual proof of that, but that's the story.
But you can tell that it was a cooler because the ice would have came above the door in through the slot where it would keep everything cold.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like a refrigeration type thing. Now, whether there was children that played in there, I don't know. What you get all the stories from these people that do like the tours for the public.
Right.
So after a while, things get muddied. You don't know the real story. However, every time I've gone in there, I've always felt children. And the last 2 times we were there, we got stuff on SLS. This time I came back and I said, "Remember me? I'm back." I said, "You want to play a game?" And we started singing like Patty Cake and playing like little games and stuff. I had my friend sit in there. Nothing happened with her.
Okay.
They point the SLS. I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Let's play a game. Come sit on my knee." And I have the SLS footage, and you can see like a little stick figure dangling their little feet, just hanging off of me.
Sitting on her lap, wrapping their arm around her neck.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. And I don't know the context of why children would be there.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
See, this is the answer that I want to get down to, and this is why I ask this question, is because I like to ask people, okay, first off, have you experienced it, right? Which you have. And then have you asked them, like on like the spirit box or the apps you use, whatever, any type of recording, have you asked them, why are you still here? Is there a light? Can you cross over? What's the reason that's keeping you here? Because I feel like if there is, I don't want to say a word, but I don't know what you believe in, whoever believes in, if there is a higher power, let's go with that, then why is they or he or whomever letting children be stuck in these positions? If that makes sense,
Yeah, it makes perfectly good sense. Yeah, my daughter even asked me those kind of questions. I'm not really big into religion. I'm more like spiritual.
Yeah,
She's very
us
big
too.
into religion, and there's some days where she gets really disheartened, and she's like, "Well, if there's an all-loving God, then why would God put us in these positions to begin with?" And I'm like, Amen, sister. I cannot help you with that. That is
Right.
something for you to grapple. So when you're saying that question, like, why would they still be here? Why wouldn't they go to light? I don't know. And it's funny because I've never thought to even ask that.
Right.
Because when you're in the moment and everyone's like, oh my God, you have a stick figure on you. You're like, so like, oh yeah, this is so cool. All common sense flies out the window.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you ask somebody like, well, why are you still here?
Yeah.
That's like
Right.
the $1 million question. And I never even bothered to ask that question. So next
Well,
time,
maybe
this
that's
happens
something
to me,
that to think of to add to your next investigation.
amen. I'm going to do it because it's
You
like,
know,
I kind of feel silly now.
like
That
the
you
one woman, I forget what episode it was. I think her name was Rashnu.
Yeah.
Rashnu. If you watch that episode that we did with this woman, I asked her the same question. Obviously, I said, well, because she realized, I guess the little girl was still there with her mom on her property or whatnot. And she said actually the mom was evil or not evil like demonic evil, but evil in the sense of like a nasty woman. And somehow, according to this woman that we interviewed, she said that the little girl answered her. It says, my mom is holding me here because I'm a bad girl.
I remember, yeah, I remember that. Which just,
That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
well, and every child wants to make their mom happy no matter what we think.
But what the question I have here is, especially this, it intrigues me into the paranormal world, is what right or power or whatever you would call it does that mom have over this little girl if there's a higher power? The higher power would say, or whomever it is, whatever happens, right, would say, nope, not happening to you. You're coming with me. You can stay here. Do you hear what I'm saying there?
I hear what you're saying, but I think you're probably answering it at the same time you're asking it, because if you think about what I just said about my daughter questioning how God and religion works, mainstream
Right.
God and religion, where she would ask the question, well, why would he allow that to happen to good people? Does it still apply to the afterlife as well? There
That's
you go.
tough.
Because maybe after the afterlife, there is not a clear cut. It works just like it does here on Earth.
Okay.
Things have to play out because it's that way. Because
Okay.
like my daughter asked, why would good things happen? Maybe it's that same exact way on the other side. Yeah.
That's
But
what I'm starting to gather. It kind of seems that way. Like there's so many residual spirits in so many different places for so many different reasons.
exactly. And then we always talk about, well, are the ghosts that we are actually interacting with, are we just on two different parallel timelines?
Hmm.
Are we bleeding into each other? And sometimes we get a glimpse of that.
Right.
And then the questions that we're asking, is it like minutes and like hours later, or like when something doesn't make sense right away, like on these spirit boxes, and you hear something and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, that corresponded with a question I asked 30 minutes ago. Like, are we
Right.
all just on a delayed? This is the stuff that keeps us up at night thinking, like,
Absolutely.
You're left wondering. Look, we only see and hear things on certain between certain frequencies,
Yeah.
and there's other entities outside those. I mean, like cats. Cats see things that we don't.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, so they're seeing things in a different spectrum. That leaves you with questions as to, are you picking something up that from that, or are you picking something up? What are you picking up? It just leaves you to think. What is the possibility? What possibility is this?
I read a post from a paranormal professor recently or something. I looked him up and he's like legit. He's actually like works at a college or whatnot. So I'm like, all right, let's see if this guy's really, has any credibility. But anyways, what I read from him was there's something to do with the energy that children and animals give off, that they can accept the energy from the other side better than we can as regular people. I don't know. I don't know the truth to that, but I guess it kind of sounds like it makes sense.
Well, you got the stories like the little kid who was born and said he was such and such pilot from World War II, and
Mhm.
and he just kept insisting and insisting. And when he finally met with the other survivors from that
Yeah.
plane, that plane he flew, he was sharing stories with him that he shouldn't have known. And then once that was done, he went about his merry little childhood. You know, kids are more susceptible to things than we are as adults. And
Right.
as he's growing up, we were told you're crazy to think that. You know, so we're pushing it out, and instead of accepting the possibility that we're in touch with something.
Right.
So you learn to block it out and just cut it off.
Makes perfect sense. I have one more thing to tell you concerning that, and then I have to spin this down because I have 4 minutes left. Zoom only gives me a certain amount of time. I don't know why. I got to get that looked at, see if I can get it stretched a little bit. Anyways, that makes perfect sense because this is my mom. You can ask her. I don't know how this happened one time, but we moved to a new town when I was a kid. I was maybe 7, 8. And somehow I knew a couple of the streets. I knew where that street was going to be. And I had no reason to know it. So I don't know if I've lived before or whatever, but maybe just in certain senses this happens to us because I says, oh, yeah, I think Rice Road's going to be over here. Somehow I knew about that street. How? How did that happen? I've never been there before. You know what I mean? Not as a child, anyways.
They say everybody has the ability to do these things, and it's a matter of how in tune you are with it, or how, you know, it comes down to how much you pay attention to it,
Right.
and whether or not you continue working with it to you know, bring it out more.
Yeah.
But I noticed since we started doing more things that
You're becoming more susceptible.
she's opened herself up more, and it's just, you know, hey, what's going on over here? We moved the SLS, pan the SLS over there, and there's something there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
She's picking up as to where something is at.
Apparitions like coming at you at all, or you know, like full people like dressed in olden garb, you know, like olden clothes or anything?
For me, when I'm in a building or something, it's more like in your mind's eye. You see what you think is the person standing there, or you hear them talking to you. Like when I was in, I think, Tombstone, when I went into the courthouse there, I was bum rushed by a bunch of people telling me, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You got to believe me. And I'm like, you know, and I'm like, whoa, I got to sit down. Y'all are just, I've had
So
that.
you're more of like a medium than just a regular investigator.
See, and I won't call myself that because I don't think I am. But like
Okay.
you said, the more and more we started doing this,
Yeah.
it started happening. And I was like, but there's too many things that get validated.
So what you're saying is through practice, you can open the door more.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's also, you need to be more careful as well, too, because you never know what you're letting in.
That's
right.
true.
You don't know if you're being deceived or not.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, now we go places and sometimes we just get like little hitchhikers that we didn't even intentionally, we're not even there for paranormal reasons, but then we'll come back and we have like weird things happening and then we have to like,
oh, wow.
And be okay, you're not allowed to stay. And now we go places. And if I even have an inkling of, do we have a hitchhiker with us? You're not allowed to come with us. You're going to stay here. You know,
Right.
we have to set our boundaries.
All right. Well, it has been a great episode, guys. I have like 40 seconds.
Okay.
I will spin this down and I will get you guys the link as soon as I get it uploaded.
All right. We'll talk
Thank you.
again.
Hopefully we can have you guys on again sometime.
We'd love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
very much, guys.
Thanks.
Have a great night.